was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Play fake. Cousins able to shake him off. Fighting to stay upright. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Akeem Hicks at 6'5", 332 finds his way home for the sack.
It may be cliche, but it is something that holds up over time, doesn't it? If you're the visitors, you don't want to let the crowd in the game early.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did there. But you said also this defense, they're going to give them a lot of looks like we just saw there, aren't they?
They certainly are. They're a proud unit, and they're going to ride the momentum of this crowd with them, and that's why they got after them early.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's second and a country mile. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is third and long. Now Cousins. And Diggs has it. Well, he had a quick little spin move, but the door shut fast as he's dropped. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Here comes Cohen. Now, a nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And the Bears take over. The Bears in good field position to start out first and 10 at their own 44. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
They'll run on second down with Cohen. Oh, Cohen lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Now Watson. And he'll be brought down, but a tip of the cap on the spin move as that gives him a first down. 8 yards, first down as they're able to convert. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. It's complete. It's Miller. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 39 yards there. A big one.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal. Second and goal from the 1. They'll run for it with Tariq Cohen, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? Third and goal.
Let's get it. Check 52.
Out of the gun, Watson. toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, if they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
A terrific running there to start the drive, as that's going to go for 15 and a quick first down as well. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. From the gun, here's Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Now Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 yards there, first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Cousins now from the 50. Cook stripped, the ball's out, and this is picked up by the Bears. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. In our meetings this week, they kind of tipped us off. They wanted to play ultra-aggressive, forcing fumbles. They just did that right there.
They took it to the next level, didn't they? You're exactly right, because everyone talks about being aggressive on defense and tackling well. But they were talking about getting after the football, making sure the ball was stripped out each and every time they lined up someone to get them on the ground.
And the adjustment working early. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 3-0 after one on EA Sports. Back in Chicago, ready for the second quarter. It's the Bears in possession as they've got it with a 2nd and 13 forthcoming.
Check.
Now on 2nd and 13. Watson gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. Call it a pickup of 7, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Tariq Cohen, his 2nd touchdown on the season as the Bears push further out in front. And there, the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense. Get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
You always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Switch. Slam, slam, slam.
On 2nd down, Cook. 11 yards there, 1st down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. His throw incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit. But over the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A very well-executed play. It goes for 29 yards. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multi-task.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
Just like that.
3rd and long for Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Marr able to put this one through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
Throwing again is Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Danielle Hunter in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. That's taken on the 25. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears.
And that's what friends are for.
As the returner, you know who you're buying dinner for later.
Oh, without a doubt, because he just took care of you and your team in a big way. You know, you turn it over there, that's a big momentum changer, and put your defense in a bad spot.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13. Lets it fly for Thielen. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. This time they stay on the ground. And he'll be taken down well before the first at about the 36-yard line. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Here we go.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Watson. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. Now we're going to get a stoppage. It appears to be an injured Bear on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. To throw again on second down. Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Danielle Hunter. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long after that sack. What does Watson have in his arsenal? Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded just inside the 30. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned.
Looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And they're going to this across midfield and inside the 45. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Draw play, Cohen. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Here's Watson. Flushed out right. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Watson. And he completes it to Cohen. And he's stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their background. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
Again, it's Cook. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
You got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. To throw, Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Khalil Mack in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. On the return is Cohen. 12 yards on the return that time. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. Touchdown, Chicago! A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year as the Bears push further out in front. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Let's go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the fourth. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a give running right, it's Cook. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They run it again with Cook. And he's going to take this down close to a first down at about the Bears' 35.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On play action, Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
First down, here's Cousins. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. The 20, 10, and they will score a pick 6 for Bears. Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a first.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Cousins. That's caught by Treadwell. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 31-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
It's just me and you.
Play fake. Cousins. He's got Smith here. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
To throw is Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. They'll run with Cook, and this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert?
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off inside the 5. And now nothing but green ahead of him. The 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. That's the story of the game. Again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the 1st down. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward. That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Cousins. And this one to Treadwell, complete. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play there for Minnesota. 45 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now Cousins. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
He was covered by Prince Amukamara.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
I'm coming.
One last shot now for Cousins. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing